In the quiet countryside of Indiana, a horrifying crime sent shockwaves through the community. April Tinsley's lifeless body was discovered in a ditch, leaving investigators puzzled and determined to find her killer. It was not until 2 years later that a chilling confession etched into the weathered walls of a barn provided a breakthrough in the case. Decades would pass before the true identity of the perpetrator, John Miller, was finally uncovered. The wheels of justice may turn slowly, but they never stop turning. April Tinsley vanished at the tender age of 8 while walking back home from a friend's place on Good Friday in 1988. For an agonizing 3 days, Janet Tinsley, a mother filled with trepidation, clung to hope, eagerly awaiting news of her daughter's safe return. However, the cruel hand of fate dealt a devastating blow. Instead of finding her daughter unharmed, authorities made a grim discovery: the lifeless body of her precious child, brutally assaulted and callously abandoned in a ditch, miles away from their peaceful abode in the idyllic farmlands of Indiana. Tinsley vanished without a trace, leaving investigators with few leads to follow. The crime scene was barren and extensive, providing no new information other than the presence of the girl's body. The possibility of the murderer getting away with the crime was terrifying until a foreboding turn of events unfolded 2 years later. Amidst the haunting scene where April Tinsley's body was uncovered, law enforcement stumbled upon a spine-chilling message etched in crayon on a nearby barn wall. The ominous words left behind by her assailant sent shockwaves through the investigation, intensifying the search for justice. Several more chilling notes were discovered on the bicycles of young girls in Fort Wayne. A full 14 years after the initial message, the mysterious killer continued to evade authorities, leaving them searching for answers. On March 18, 1980, April Marie Tinsley came into the world in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Just 8 years later, on April 1st, 1988, she went missing after leaving her friend's house to grab an umbrella. Her mother wasted no time in reporting her daughter missing at 3 p.m. that day, leading the police to start searching for her immediately. Despite their efforts, they were unable to find her. Time passed, and it was 3 days later when a jogger from Spencerville, Indiana, stumbled upon a horrifying sight. While jogging along a serene rural road in DeKalb County, their attention was drawn to a lifeless body lying in a ditch. The grim reality unfolded swiftly as an autopsy confirmed that Tinsley had suffered a violent assault and met a tragic end by strangulation. Forensic analysis identified the presence of the suspect's DNA in the victim's undergarments. The amount was too tiny to generate a DNA profile. The residents of Fort Wayne were on edge as police searched for leads. The case went unsolved until May 1990, when a confession was uncovered on a barn wall in Grable, Indiana. Despite its shortcomings, the inscription provided valuable insight into the killer's mindset for the police. Once more, the Fort Wayne Police Department depended upon tips. Every tip that came in, we investigated. said Dan Camp, who worked Tinsley's case for 5 years. Every tip, hundreds of tips. So after a while, you start thinking to yourself, oh geez, this is just another dead end. The turning point in the tides was still a distant dream, with a wait of 14 more years ahead. As the Memorial Day weekend of 2004 unfolded, Emily Higgs embarked on a carefree bike ride. Little did she know that her innocent adventure would take a chilling turn. Spotting a plastic bag on her beloved pink bicycle, the curious 7-year-old promptly handed it over to her mother. Inside, the items discovered were troubling. Forensic evidence and a disturbing letter were found, causing considerable distress to the family. Just 16 miles north of Fort Wayne, the Higgs family could not shake the memory of April Tinsley's abduction. They wasted no time in alerting the authorities, who soon noticed the striking resemblance between the handwriting on the note and the one scribbled on the barn. It sends shivers down your spine to know that not just one, but 3 identical packages were discovered by young girls in Fort Wayne, all at the same eerie moment. These packages echoed the same unsettling details, typos, and menacing warnings. It is almost like he wanted to get caught, pondered Higgs' mother. By this time, the FBI partnered with the local police to aid in the investigation. When Tinsley was killed, DNA technology was relatively new, but now the FBI had sophisticated technology to help them in their efforts to uncover the identity of her murderer. In his quest to bring justice to the tragic murder of April Tinsley, Detective Brian Martin turned to Parabon Nanolabs, a renowned company headquartered in Virginia. Eager to find a breakthrough, he sought their assistance in determining whether the DNA collected from the crime scene in 1988 matched that of the biological evidence discovered in 2004. The company's swift confirmation provided a ray of hope, revealing that their genealogy database contained only 2 significant profiles that could potentially shed light on the case. Among the matches was John D. Miller, a resident of lot number 4 in the Grable Mobile Home Park. It's worth noting that the park was located very close to the barn where the anonymous confession was unearthed in 1990. Secretive detectives covertly took away his trash, discovering biological evidence that aligned with the DNA found in all the other related samples during the summer of 2018. After 6 days had gone by, Martin and his co-worker made their way back to Miller's place. They were eager to find out why he thought they had their eyes on him. Miller's reply was simple and clear. April Tinsley, he said. On the way to the county jail, Miller did not hesitate to divulge all the disturbing details of his crime to the police. He narrated how he was trolling down the street when he came across April Tinsley. Subsequently, he parked his car a block ahead and waited for her to pass by. Afterward, Miller commanded her to step into the vehicle. He drove her to his trailer in Grable. the very same trailer he resided in when he was apprehended. Confessing his guilt, he revealed that he strangled Tinsley to her demise following the assault, driven by his fear of being caught. He ultimately disposed of her remains in a ditch along County Road 68 in DeKalb County the following day. The date was July the 19th, 2018, when he found himself facing Allen County Judge John F. Serbeck, who held his future in his hands. "Right now, I'm numb," said Janet Tinsley. "I can't believe it's finally here." In the presence of the Tinsley family, Miller was accused by Judge Serbeck of felony murder, child molestation, and criminal confinement. Despite narrowly dodging the death penalty, he was given an 80-year prison sentence with no opportunity for appeal, a decision that Tinsley's family deemed acceptable. On July the 15th, 2058, Miller will walk out of the Newcastle Correctional Facility a free man. This day will come 6 days after his 99th birthday, a stark reminder that 70 years prior, he committed a terrible act by ending the life of an innocent child. Leave your thoughts below.